talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that seems to me is the most important thing, to go back to what you just asked me, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of whether we're isolated or not, we still can do what we can do where we are. And it's important to understand it's not just the manifest results, because that's what's bothering a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't get out and they can't do these things. But it also has to do with our frequency. And then we come back to, well, how am I taking care of myself to keep my energy high?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I would say there are these questions, for example, that's also something that would be really relevant. Let's see, what did I do with them? That I think we could use here, um, which I use with a lot of people. They're actually Tony Robbins questions. He has these power questions. I don't know if you have ever done them. They're in some of my books also, but
I think I do know what's coming, but let's see.
yeah. Yeah, but there are these questions, and maybe we could, I don't know, you could write it down so people could have it.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I have
Yeah,
my
so
notes right here. Yeah.
it's Tony Robbins' power questions. There are 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question is, in other words, this is a way of raising your energy, and people could do this. Like, I often give it to clients to do it in the morning when they wake up. So the first question is, what am I proud of in my life? And to try to come up with 3 to 5 answers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I have
so,
done this.
in other words, the things that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
That, and it's not just, I'm really proud that I wrote this book. It's like, I'm really proud that I did, and that it only works, this exercise, if you do it with feeling.
I just want to say, you really got to feel it, right?
You
Yeah.
really got to feel it. It's not just a mental thing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you find, like, what would you answer if I say, well, like, what are you really proud of that you've done in your life? Well, what is it that gives you that?
Yeah, I think just in general, like just overcoming a lot of hard stuff. I think that like and
Okay.
sort of and really kind of overcoming it in one way, but then also nearly sort of making it a good thing. Like turning it into
Yeah.
something positive, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what I would actually say to this. We turn our karma into our dharma. In other
Mm,
words,
that's it.
the problem that we have, the greatest tragedy, our karma,
Hmm.
that we turn it into our dharma. That becomes our strength, actually, our
Yeah,
gift to the world.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a
Just
really good answer.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So, in other words, to think of things, like you could say, I'm really, but also when I think about you, all the things you've done, I mean, all
Hmm.
the teachings you have, just think about how many people you have influenced with your cooking classes, with your
Hmm.
yoga classes. And I know that when you do a yoga class, it's not just the physical exercises that
Hmm.
you're always coming with this great spiritual stuff and all these tips and all these. So again, just think about the
Hmm.
influence you have had through that.
Hmm.
I think you should be really proud of that. So if
Oh,
you're not, I'm proud of it on your
thank you,
behalf.
Barbara. You're so sweet. It's like so sweet because I found this old, which is also an exercise you and I did of writing down my strengths. And then it was also like, Barbara says, like I wrote it down, so it's always, I mean, you are a daily reminder for me on many levels, Barbara. I'm so grateful. So, so yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you for
Thank you.
sharing it. Okay, and question number 2 is, what am I grateful for in my life? So, in other words, I mean, as we know, we talk about it all the time, but there's nothing that lifts our energy quicker, more effectively than gratitude lists.
Hmm.
So, the second question here is, what am I grateful for? 3 to 5 things, but I often say to people also, just if you're feeling down in the dumps, just make a gratitude list.
Yeah.
But gratitude, like, first of all, I'm just happy to be alive, and then
Mm.
start, you know, that I can see and I can hear and I can walk and I can talk, and I got a computer and I can talk to you on Skype, and I'm not in a refugee camp in the Middle East. I mean, hello,
Yeah. Yeah.
that we're women here in the Western world where we have gender equality, so called anyway. I mean, that we have so many things that we take for granted,
Hmm.
that we just sort of forget. And it's also really, really interesting. You could say, we human beings, the way we are, like we have this million gazillion things we could be thankful for. And then what do? We wake up in the morning and we focus on the one or two things that don't work for us at the moment. It's like stupid, so it's not. So making a conscious effort to focus on the good, but also just when I say the good, the things that we just take for granted. That we have food in our refrigerator and money in the bank, and we got Netflix, and we got books, and we got all this stuff that we just
at our feet. Yeah.
So that's question number 2. Question number 3, which is also really one that raises the energy, and that is, who loves me and who do I love?
Yeah.
That's such a good question. Think about 3 to 5 people that that you really love.
Yeah.
And then think about 3 to 5 people who actually really love you. They might be the same. They probably are the same. But that's, again, love is the frequency, the highest frequency. Love is the healer. So thinking about the love that we have in our lives. I mean, just the love that you have with your little dog. I mean, it's just like, Sparky.
Yeah, my sweet Sparky, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is the first person that comes to mind always. Always. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also because the love that we have with the animals is unconditional.
Absolutely.
It's the high frequency. And their love for us, their love for us is unconditional. They don't care, how much money we have, if we're good looking, if we're successful. They just love us. So we could ask for more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's
but
really...
okay, so but now we come to the next one. The next question, which really has to do with what you've been asking about all the time. What's great about my present situation?
Ah, yeah.
So that's the next question.
Yeah.
And so to try to find 3 or maybe 5 things that you can find in your present situation that are actually great. That, in other words, opportunities. And you could say, what can I learn from the situation? And you could also say, apropos what we've been talking about, our theme that people are feeling more challenged now and so on. I mean, again, if I think about all my clients, and I have really a lot, everybody who goes to me is taking this opportunity to go deeper and to clear up their old trauma and to work. I mean, it used to be that when people came, I have my mats, I lay them on the floor and I do guided with them. But now I've been so creative. So I have this exercise I call emotional decompression, where I help them release this trauma. And I have figured out how to do it on Skype, on the phone. I mean, I got people laying in their beds and I'm doing the same thing. So I've been, very creative, also finding out in my present situation that it's not going to stop me from...
Exactly. You're just adapting what you were already doing and putting it in a new... Absolutely. Yeah. Reinventing what you were already doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that's true of all. I mean, you're trying to do the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How can I...
I
have these
do what
gifts,
you do.
I have the things that I can help people with. So we're not going to let this stop us, right?
No, Barbara. Not you and me. No way. And neither should the listeners. Keep going. Totally.
Okay, and the last question is, and this is also really relevant, what can I do today to make my life better?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because a lot of people have this, like when this is over, or when I become rich and famous, or when I'm successful, or when I finish my book, or when I'm, got a husband and 14 children, or whatever. then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So this question is about, again, coming back to now, coming back to this day.
Yeah.
So what can I do today? And that's a really good one, And I often suggest to people, it doesn't have to be a really big thing. I mean, it can be, I'm going to allow myself to sit on a bench and just stare out and not do anything. I mean, to give yourself break, take a nap, take a bath, go
Yeah.
for a walk, or just something for totally just for you,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
with no
really,
attention.
really, really good, and it is because I think exactly what you're saying. Too many times that we always wanna like we're always postponing, or we're always thinking like one day it will come, you know. But your mantra is also so powerful, and I still use it to this day. And you gave it to me in one of our first sessions. It's the every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. I mean, that is definitely if you what can I do today to make my life better? Say that 150 times. You know, like really, it's just so powerful because it is what we are doing or what we should be doing. I feel.
Yeah, this is a very famous universal mantra. Every day,
Yeah.
every way, I am getting better and better. And the deal is, for our dear listeners, say it 15 times in a row,
Yeah.
out loud, with feeling. In other words, you can't say every day. It's got to be, with feeling that you're actually thinking about what you're saying every day, in every way. I am getting better and better. Say that 15 times in a row with feeling 3 times a day. In the morning, the middle of the day, and in the evening, and
Yeah.
see what happens. It really will change your life. And another thing you can do if you say it while you look into the mirror. That's a really good thing too, because you can see, you can't really hang.
Yeah.
You gotta have the body language that goes with that feeling. And I also had learned, I've done it so many times, lecturing or even with kids. Kids absolutely love that mantra. They really like to feel good. So that's a great one for lifting your energy. It's not my mantra. It was a French doctor in the 1870s or something. His name was Coué. It's him.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why it's so powerful is millions and millions and millions of people have said this for hundreds
Yeah,
of
for so
years.
many years. That's
And
wonderful.
he actually found out he was a medical doctor, and he had all these people coming to him with all these different illnesses and whatever, and he found out that there was something deeper going on, that it had something to do with people's attitudes. So he had this thing that no matter what they came with, of physical sicknesses, illnesses, or whatever, he gave them this mantra, and he told them to go home and say it 3 times a day, 15 times in a row, out loud with feeling. And he said it didn't even matter if they believed it or not. And he had amazing success with it. So many people got well.
Yeah.
So what does that tell us, right?
Exactly. I mean, but I think manifestation is a powerful thing, and that was also really that I got from your book, and what I get from every session I do with you is that manifestation is a powerful thing, and that you can't, as soon as you start sitting in that energy, you can't deny it. It's just there. It's and I think lots of people who are skeptic, you're skeptic, maybe even a bit, just try it. I mean, everything changes, but
I always say to everyone, don't believe anything that I say. Try it yourself.
yeah.
You have to try it yourself. You have to prove to yourself that you understand these mechanisms.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it was funny. One of my teachers, the yoga teachers, Kat, he's amazing. He's a teacher from London. He was saying you can't ask a personal assistant to meditate for you. Like, you have to meditate, in the sense, we have to do the things ourselves. There's a few things in life we have to do ourselves. We can't, you can ask someone to do your groceries, but you cannot ask someone to do this stuff for you, you gotta do it, you gotta, it's your awakening. And so, yeah, I think it's very important. Anyway, my last question, Barbara, because otherwise we could still sit here tomorrow morning, because I love these chats with you. Would you have so it's now 2021, thank God. Happy New Year to everyone listening. What do you have a little bit of a vision or a wish for the new year, even though you were just saying we're staying in the present, we don't really look at the future, but a wish or a vision? to
Well, I
share?
would say, of course, my wish is like most of us, we want love, happiness, peace, prosperity, all of these things, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more about how do we get there. And again, I would say